Hi, I'm Vicky.
Hi, I'm Kat.
We are Cat and Mouse Astrology. Welcome to the new moon in Taurus 2024. It's May. Flowers are blooming.
We're a little tornado-y where we are at, so it doesn't feel like super great spring-like, but the symbolism is fantastic.
I'm loving the symbolism. Way into the symbolism. Yeah. We're ready for some spring flowers.
Spring flowers, new continents rising out of the ocean, and gates to the garden of all fulfilled desire.
Oh, yes. Yes. Everything covered in blossoms that just are so
Mhm.
enigmatic. Now you have to
And
have rainstorms to get there.
that's true. That's a good point, Mickey. Thank you. You have to have the clouds and the rainbows. Oh my God. I just have to share this quote that I heard from Maya Angelou this weekend. And it was like, she's talking about carrying all the kindness with her that she's ever encountered at wherever she goes and whatever she does. And she says, I've had rainbows in my clouds. And so it seems to me the thing to do is prepare yourself so that you can be a rainbow in somebody else's cloud.
Oh, that's so sweet. I love that. Be a rainbow in somebody's cloud.
Praise cloud. Maya Angelou.
My Angela, oh, she's such a turn on. Our Mother's Gardens. She's been a turn on to me since that book I read.
Our mother's gardens, like gardens of all fulfilled desires,
Yeah.
those kinds of gardens.
Yeah, she goes back like, go back to your roots. Look at your mother's gardens. What do you want to weed and what do you want to take forward into the future into your garden?
What kind of seeds are you carrying with you? That's right.
Yeah,
Onto the new continents that are rising out of the ocean.
that's right. Make sure you've got your herb garden with you that you can replant when you get there.
Absolutely.
That's right.
Favorite foods. Because it's
Blooming.
Taurus moon.
That's
It's all
right.
about pleasure.
And it's earthy. Let's talk about Taurus for a minute. It's all about the fecund earth.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's why on Beltane, they it was perfectly socially acceptable for people to run off into the woods and procreate.
Right.
It was a good way to shake up the gene pool, right?
Mm-hmm.
Make sure that
Mm-hmm.
we have a nice, viable next generation. And if the queen's son looks a little bit like the groundskeeper's, you know, daughter, then
I don't know that the queen got to participate in
oh, they were all out there in the woods. I got some generational problems there.
it was a blessing upon the land.
It was a blessing upon the land. That's
Yeah.
right. Yeah. And that's where we have, actually forgotten so many things is we get so caught up in the intellectual. We're so much focused on the air signs. We've moved
Oh, yes.
to the air signs, and here we have this big Taurian moon that says, "Get down in the earth and roll around in the dirt."
That's right.
We
Yay
talked
for the
about
earth
that a little
signs.
last time. Yeah. So let's take a look. How do we get to these beautiful symbols? We have a beautiful moon with a kite forming, lots of beautiful blue angles, which means trines and sextiles. And that is really nice. I love that so much.
Right. So in Taurus, we have, if I can see it without my glasses, Venus, the moon, the sun, Uranus, and Jupiter.
You betcha. That is one heck of a stellium, baby.
And that is in a sextile to Saturn and Pisces
Yep. And a
and a
the
trine to the black moon in Virgo.
that's right. Structure what you don't know.
How do you do that?
Well, it has something to do with being willing to look at the shadow side,
Okay.
doesn't it? Because it's what we don't know is also completely opposite the illusion, delusion, and dreams of Neptune.
Yeah.
Not exactly, but close enough to be in an actual opposition with, its intensity increasing over the next month, few
Could
weeks.
we just try to make space or time for the unknown?
That's what has to happen. We have to let that unknown become part of our dreams so that the dreams can be part of the reality. And what makes it the reality is this moon kind of sears it into our consciousness.
Okay.
I mean, for me, and I like to go both directions. If I go to the mundane world, there are some young people out there today with a dream that our Piscean world, this Pisces is the last sign of the zodiac, 29 degrees of Neptune. That's world peace. And I mean that both as world peace and world peace.
Mm-hmm.
So we have a bunch of students out there saying, why is this happening?
Yeah.
This has
We
to,
can have a different world.
yeah, well, they are into the dream and they want to make that dream a reality. And right now, Saturn is there with Neptune.
Yes.
Saturn is there making these dreams concrete. There may be delusions involved. And what the problem is we don't really know what the heck is going on and how much of it is our own projection, how much of it is hidden behind the scenes, how much of it is this delusion being pulled in a tension, in a tug of war with this um space we need to hold to find out what it is.
Hmm.
Something we have to look at. I don't know.
Got a power in the unknown.
Give me your black moon definition. I love the way you describe black moon.
Oh, not the symbol. The
No, just
black.
talk about black moon for a minute before we get into the Sabian.
Okay. Black Moon Lilith is supposedly that which cannot be known, or is so deeply repressed. Sometimes it's because it's repressed. Sometimes it's because it's not part of this dimension, but that's almost a little more South Node stuff. Um, yeah, it's the part of you that you don't know about yourself, what you can't know about yourself, what you've repressed, what you don't want to know. But it's also sometimes the wildness that exists in each of us that has been repressed by the likes of Saturn.
I love that. That's a wonderful description. And it's in Virgo.
Mm,
It's in the harvesting sign
the sign of the Virgin.
and the sign of discernment,
Hmm. The priestess, the sign of the priestess.
sign of the priestess, being directly opposite Neptune, which is our reaching for our highest ideal, in the sign of Pisces, which is our highest ideal of spirituality.
Hmm.
So there is a potential here in my mind for, you know, I'm sorry to go a little la flowers but it is flowers. It's May, it's flowers. So here
Yeah.
we go, full flowers. It is the dawning of the age of Aquarius.
Hmm.
Like it's going to happen in a minute. The dawning could take 100 years. We're just at the beginning of the dawning of the age of Aquarius.
Right.
But this forming kite, especially with it becoming a dual forming kite, I think it's pointing to something that is, these things are knots, they're nodes. I like the way Rick Levine describes that, the node is an invisible space like the one we have in uh, Libra and in Aries.
Right.
It's not a planet, but it marks a place where the energies cross. And in that crossing, they create a knot. And in that knot is an energy. And so there we have with this energy, this possibility for power. And that power is the power for change.
Yeah.
So I'm really actually turned on by this because I think it's really pointing in a positive direction for us. Now, that direction, is it positive when a bunch of students go on campus and, raise a fuss? Well,
Yes.
some people
If
might,
it's
oh, but I
as
say,
long as they're not of the white supremacist variety, then yes. Which I don't think those people were actually students. Those people were just on campus.
Right. Yeah. And I can't, I'm of an age that I can't help but think of the protest songs of the 60s.
Mm,
I saw the news recently, all I could think of was "Four dead in Ohio." And like, oh, you cops have to back off. They have the right to protest. So we are in a strangely similar place, not strangely similar. Any astrologer will tell you that the reason we are in this place is because of what's going on with Uranus.
mm.
So
Or at least there's a correlation.
yeah, well, again, there's this, you go back and start looking through these periods in time. Cosmos and Psyche by Richard Tarnas, and he goes through these periods and points out how they are, you know, perfectly synchronized to these events in history that are described by this symbology.
Mhm.
So we're just in one of those places again. And on a personal level, well, there's a lot going on here and a whole lot going on wherever we have Taurus for everybody, right?
Mhm.
This is a big stellium and it's a big amount of energy. And because it's with Jupiter and with Venus, it is overall positive, this change. That's what I have to say.
Yeah. By the way, the new moon and the sun's degree of whatever that number is in Taurus is a new continent rising out of the ocean.
Yes, a new continent rising out of the ocean. So beautiful. Now, what is the moon, the black moon at 24 Virgo?
A flag at half mast in front of a public building.
See, to me,
We,
that represents those college students going, hey, wait a minute. We have to say something about the deaths.
hey, wait a minute. What are you doing with our tuition money?
That too, but 35,000 people dead. That's why they're protesting.
Yeah, but they can't like the actual demands are tell us what you're spending our money on because we think it's weapons manufacturers and companies in Israel.
Exactly. We do not want to be complicit in your murders
Right.
anymore. That's right.
Right.
We're not going to be complicit in your murders. Stop it. And that's the best way to deal with it. We have to get people where their pocketbooks are.
They
It's
don't care about anything else. It's the only thing they care about.
the only thing that works. And that's why, oh, you can arrest the students and you can shame the parents. But if it goes on long enough, keep going, kids, then this may actually affect some real change that needs to happen.
Yeah.
So read 24 one
It
more.
will.
I need,
It
oh,
will, because history tells us that it will. Every time students do something like this, it brings changes eventually. And we look back on it and we're like, oh, good for them. I totally would have been there. Totally would have been there.
gonna be. So give me 29 of Neptune, because that's what we're building towards.
9 Pisces.
Oh, sorry, yeah, that's right, Neptune at Pisces.
A majestic rock formation resembling a face is idealized by a boy who takes it as his ideal of greatness, and as he grows up, begins to look like it. It's about shaping the world to your ideals and becoming your ideals.
I like that.
Thank you, Neptune.
Pretty sweet. Yeah. So these college students are like, no, we don't want to go down in history as the generation that was party to genocide. Our money paid for genocide. That's not
Yeah.
what we want to do. And so we have the another thing here that's pretty beautiful, and that's the Chiron
Hmm.
Mercury conjunction
Hmm.
in Aries at
So
21 degrees.
talk about a turn on.
Yeah,
At what degrees?
21 degrees Aries.
1 degrees Aries. Yes, the gate to the garden of all fulfilled desires.
Yeah. Talk therapy.
Talk therapy. What?
Isn't that it?
That is not the garden of all fulfilled desires
Well,
for
it is
my
because
mind. There's not enough music and talk therapy.
Chiron and Mercury together, it's talk therapy.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
Yeah. Or else,
There are other, hey, now though, wait, there are other ways to deliver messages besides talking.
that's right. That's right. This could be a healing touch.
This could be a healing touch message.
That's right. You can message people in a bottle. Message in a bottle.
Some other kind of sound. Maybe it's a dream that's just pictures.
Could be a gong.
Could be a gong that just like shakes something loose.
Uh-huh. And with
Mm,
Uranus in as part of this stellium in Taurus, this actually could be something that just shakes loose.
yeah. Sometimes that's really where healing comes from. It's like, oh God, like I didn't, finally realize something's tight. And you're like, oh, I hadn't noticed that before, but I bet that's why I'm feeling like this. And then like something happens and it's like poof, whatever that was got knocked loose and you're all better. Sometimes that's how that works.
Sometimes that's how that works. And this is some beautiful trine energy going on here. You know,
Hmm.
there's some possibility for this change to be facilitated. And notice that the Uranus Jupiter is still conjunct. It's still within 3 degrees,
Right. What's Jupiter at?
25 Taurus.
A Spaniard serenading his senorita.
Ah,
See, it is a song. Listen for song messages.
yeah,
Listen for song messages.
on messages. And I'm curious about the node. What's the 14 degrees of Aries, the north node, where we're trying to move towards?
Hmm. An Indian weaving a blanket.
Something we want to learn. Something we want to learn how to interweave things.
Well, yeah, or we have to weave a new world. We
Yeah,
know we have to do it.
right.
So while we have people dismantling things, we also need to have people reweaving things.
Exactly. Exactly. Moving towards the creation of new interwoven things. So what's 14 degrees of Libra?
One of my things. Oh, circular paths,
Oh,
like an Ouroboros.
wow, interesting. Uh-huh.
Yes, or like a labyrinth, or just how time is cyclical.
End of the beginning, beginning in the end. We start
Gotta be
getting at the
destroying things and rebuilding them at the same time.
exactly.
It's
Exactly.
circular. So this kind of circular though, like a horizontal circular, nobody wants these kinds of circulars unless it's rain.
Oh. Well, and there we come to Pluto, the transformer.
Oh, okay.
You
What are
know,
we on? Still two?
turn the soil and then see what we get. Yeah, two
That's
areas.
yeah. Unexpected thunderstorm.
Oh, we're back to that. We're moving back. Pluto is now retrograded.
Oh
Great.
wait, no, two. A deserter from the Navy. We're still there.
Yeah. I
Still
just,
people deserting the Navy. That's good.
mm. Yeah, we're moving back to Capricorn, which is to me disturbing to go back into that again, but it's the last freaking time. In our lifetimes, it is the last time.
Okay, so that makes me scared
Come on.
because that makes it seem like it's gonna be like the cornered animal. Like the plutocracy will be like the cornered animal.
That's it. And it's the election. It's the American election. That's when it's going to be
I don't want to talk about that.
Capricorn. No, let's wait, save it for later. I want to talk about the beautiful building kite.
Yeah, I want to talk about that and the garden of all fulfilled desires.
Right. There's a beautiful building kite. And if we can stay really focused on, use the tension between what we don't know
We don't know.
and what we dream of to help structure something. So what's the structure? What's 17 of Pisces where Saturn sits?
In a huge tent, a famous revivalist conducts his meeting with a spectacular performance.
Read one more time.
In a huge tent, a famous revivalist conducts his meeting with a spectacular performance.
The word revivalist is interesting.
Right? Because on the one hand, like, I mean, symbols can have whatever meaning you give them,
Sure.
but a revivalist, in historically speaking, would be like the Christian fundamentalist, charlatan, snake oil salesman.
Buy this Bible.
Which sounds familiar if we go back to politics, but we're not talking about that.
No, of course not. Of course we would never do that. No, no, no. No,
But it could be a different kind of revivalist.
it could be. It reminds me of the Plutonic thing going back into Capricorn. The
What?
going back to a Capricornian structural thing. Saturn is not retrograde.
Okay.
Sitting, having the structure, having Saturn sitting on that place seems to give weight or further description to Pluto moving back into Capricorn.
Okay, that makes sense. That makes sense.
But we have the weight, the power of Neptune in its home sign of Pisces, and that's more powerful.
Yeah, Saturn's kind of weak in Pisces.
It's very weak in Pisces, and it's right now it's being completely overpowered by the sun.
Mm-hmm.
And the sun is focused on that what we don't know, what we don't see, the black moon,
Right.
which has a whole lot to do with the dreams of the youth here. And I'm going to focus on that as the positive,
Yes.
is that there's enough, it's that tipping point when there's enough people that are focused on the ultimate good, the positive thing, not the negative thing. I mean, the negative thing can sway people for a while. We all want a yacht. But when you think about, oh, there's too many yachts out here.
If you get a yacht, you're just going to have orcas attacking you.
As you deserve. So, so having a whole lot of people with a different mindset tips the scales. And
Yeah.
that's
All
what
power to the orca revolution.
orcas, baby.
Yes. So we are going to put all of our intentions into Neptune, the majesticness of the earth in and of itself, a majestic rock formation. The earth itself is glorious, right? And a child idealizes that and can see themselves reflected in that and takes that natural formation as its ideal of greatness and becomes great themselves because they stuck to their ideals as they aged and matured, and they became the dream they want to see in the world.
That's it. Perfect. Perfectly said. And I want to add a little bit here. It reminds me of sometimes I'll watch, like an old movie or listen to an old song that I used to like from another era, like from long ago, like the 30s or the 50s or 60s or something. And sometimes like it's like, oh, the nostalgia is kind of cool, but then there's that line that makes you cringe.
Yeah.
Oh, thank goodness things changed. I don't think I can watch that movie again.
Mm-hmm.
It has that part in it that was normalized then, and it's not normal anymore. But
Right.
that's a looking back thing. And so maybe we do have to do this one more return back into Capricorn so we can really shake the dust from our feet and move
Mm-hmm.
forward.
Right.
We're not stepping in that crap again.
Good.
Yeah.
No, we're going through the gate to the garden of all fulfilled desires.
Flowers are blooming, babies. That's right. That's right. So get out there, enjoy May, enjoy this new moon, plant something beautiful.
Yeah. And prepare yourself so that you can be a rainbow in somebody else's cloud.
I love that so much. All right. Have a great one. Namaste, everybody. Makes me want to. All right. See you on the full.